Alright guys, welcome back to a new Ragnarok video. Today I'm just doing a updated power ranking tier list. I did this about a year ago. Of course we have new fighters. Upon rereading the series a few more times and just changing of opinions, I want to update a few things. Also at the end of the video I'll do a prediction for all the fighters in the Ragnarok series based on where I think they'll be placed by the end of the story. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you haven't already, trying to reach 60k. So if you want to be part of this journey, hit that subscribe button. Now let's get into it. So of course the strongest character so far in the series still to this day is very clearly Zeus. No fighter introduced apart from potentially Adam in a rematch can, in my opinion, defeat Zeus. Let's say Adam and Zeus had 10 matches. I would actually say Adam would win more of those 10, but we didn't get that match in the series, so Zeus is going to be above him. Adam is quite controversial regarding power rankings in Ragnarok for a few reasons. Firstly, a good portion of the community believe Adam cannot copy human techniques, meaning he'll be destroyed by any human in a fight. This leaves the question of whether or not the serpent is a human. Another thing to consider is the degree that Adam can copy with his Eyes of the Lord. And also something else not many people talk about is how strong he is base stat wise, as he was still able to keep up with Adama Zeus while blind. Is that because he kept his gain powers from copying Zeus, or maybe his base is just that high? Just a few questions we have no idea about. This is of course my personal opinion, so Adam is going up in S tier with Zeus. Up next is the certified A tier characters. I'm going to put Buddha in here. I don't think he's worthy of S tier. Maybe in his zero volume fusion thing he could maybe go in S tier. I wouldn't be surprised some people put him there. And I also wouldn't be surprised if some people put him in B, but for me personally, I think Buddha is very strong. I'm going to leave him in A now. I would also place the likes of Poseidon in A, and for some context I want to talk about, where is Hades? I think Hades is B. I do think Poseidon is pretty much Hades, but better. Firstly, he's faster than Hades. We get that pretty much confirmed in Hades vs. Wang. I personally believe Poseidon has better techniques. Hades, yes, has more raw power, but it won't really matter in the context of Ragnarok, as Poseidon also has enough power to break divine weapons. As such, he should be able to harm any human or any other god we've seen so far in the series if he lands a shot. So with all that, Poseidon is just a better Hades. As such, he is worthy of A tier. On top of all that, we also have this panel back in Poseidon's introduction when Brunhilde was worrying about who to choose to fight the one and only Poseidon. Nostradamus is included on this list alongside Huang, meaning these characters may be certified top tiers from Brunhilde's perspective, and she was kind of considering them, especially with Nostradamus being on there, who's most likely going to be, you know, a top tier certified based on his introduction. The fact that she was considering the likes of Nostradamus to fight Poseidon, I think it's pretty safe to say that Poseidon is a worthy A tier, and based on stuff I previously mentioned, he is above Hades. Unless you consider Hades being a chief god and Poseidon not, as, you know, absolute reason for Hades to be stronger, up to you, but I don't personally. From there, let's place the likes of Jack the Ripper. I still think he's D tier, the weakest fighter introduced so far. My favourite character introduced so far, but still I think he's D tier. Loses against pretty much any other fighter when he's not fighting in London. If he is fighting in London, maybe beats a few, but still probably loses against the majority. Other characters I think are worthy of A tier is most likely only 4. Very hard to gauge because he kinda mid-diffed his opponent. He still should be the strongest physical wise that we've seen so far thanks to his divine weapon. You may be able to argue Buddha's volume with 0 is on that level or stronger potentially, but more likely still going to fall. Regarding the order for the A tier, I don't think it really matters. Very interchangeable, but I'm just going to leave it like this for now. Characters that also can go in the B tier, I'm going to put the likes of Lubu. Even though he got mid-diffed by 4, I do think he's very strong in his own regard and is very deadly and a little bit underrated, so he's worthy of B tier. I think Shiva can go in B tier. Is he above Lubu and Hades? I'll say yes. His transformation is quite deadly. His unpredictable movement is also very deadly. So above those two, but I don't think he's worthy of A tier. His transformation does have some downsides, so not the best, but also not the worst. Another character I think that can go in B is Hajun. Even though the main reason for him beating on Buddha quite a bit was him being a counter for Buddha's future vision. Regardless of that, he was able to break Buddha's divine weapon or pierce through it at least, so very powerful, but definitely the bottom of B tier. Another fighter going in B tier is Huang. I'll put him at the top. Yes, he defeated Hades, but it was super high diff, so he's above Hades by default. I don't think he's a whole tier above Hades. I think he may actually lose if he was to fight Poseidon. But on like a full matchup list, Huang, in my opinion, does perform better against all the other fighters than what Hades does. So maybe a B+. I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted Huang in like a B+ range, but top of B for now. I've got to place Sasaki. So he's either in S or top of A. This one panel where he scanned all of creation at once is, in my opinion, worthy of S tier. So I'm going to leave him in S tier for this video. And it kind of seemed like he destroyed Poseidon at the end of the fight, like far surpassed him in some way. That was my perspective on looking at that. And of course I'm talking about end of fight Sasaki regarding his ranking. Start of fight's probably like a B tier or something, but end of fight certified S tier or top of A, but I do think he's a tier above the likes of Poseidon, or at least worthy of being a little bit above him. The characters in C tier, so I'm going to put Zero. I don't think he's stronger than Hajun, and Hajun's bottom of B, so simple as that. Raiden, I think Raiden is stronger than Zero, or at least on the same level if I'm being honest. He kind of had a high diff fight with Shiva, but I think Shiva was conventionally the winner, so maybe a low high diff, something like that. Hercules is kind of underrated, maybe had to beat Shiva in a fight if you consider a few things, but due to his fight with Jack and his performance not being the best, definitely probably like a C tier. Can he beat Raiden? I think it's a possibility, but I would say it would most likely be a high diff fight, so Hercules can go at the top of C. And I believe that's all the fighters that we've actually seen fight in the series so far. Now let's add the other fighters like my final prediction. So Nostradamus getting a lot of hype, so I'm going to put him in S tier. I think he's going to fight Odin. Odin will be S tier as well, so this makes the most sense. Even though Thor is stated as the strongest Norse god, I think that's going to be referred to as raw strength when Odin actually has his fight. Beelzebub, I'm not going to go into spoilers about him, but I think he's going to be an S tier as well. And then for that, I think Tesla is going to be A tier or a high B tier. I'm going to leave him in B tier for now. Apollo, Greek god, probably going to be beneath Hades if I'm being honest. Simo, probably going to be an A tier fight. I think he's going to win. Kintoki, we've actually gotten his design revealed. I think he's going to be an A tier or top of B, but I'll leave him in A tier for now. Loki, I think he's going to be just around a B tier, nothing too crazy. Same with Okita, around a B tier or maybe even C tier, but I'll leave him in B tier. I won't actually rank these guys, I'll put them at the end of the tiers I think they belong. Ares is certified D tier. Leonidas, probably like an A tier, won't be surprised if he isn't. Anubis is going to be an A tier, I think. Susanoo, once again, I think he's going to be an A tier. And these Hermes isn't fighting from what we know of. She's not fighting, Brunhilde. And the last one is Rasputin, which, of course, is the top of the verse. Like, Yeah, that about makes sense. Everyone else is pretty much F tier compared to Rasputin. So yeah, this is my tier list. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe, Patreon, other stuff in the description. Thumbs up.